Hello, my name is Paloma. I work with Shamanic evolutionary astrology. I've been making videos in Spanish for the past 5 years, weekly videos. With this story I hear, I call it the story the sky is telling. In truth, we are also telling the sky a story, presenting our faces and our choices to the starry bowl. And that's how we are co-creating this epic, beautiful love story, magnificent really, which is life. And I'm gonna start doing these videos in English, or well, trying to do these videos in English for my English speaking friends, because I have many. And that's the way I started my other channel, just responding to the messages of my friends and family that wanted to know what was going on energetically. So this is it. I'll do a proper introduction video to my channel as soon as I can, because today I want to speak specifically of the energy for the next week and a little beyond, because we are starting a new season astrologically, the season of Géminis, and I want to talk about the full moon in Sagittarius. We are immersed, as I record this video, in this very charming discharge of energy. We have the Sun and Jupiter together in Tauro, and we also have Venus and Urano together. And we are still getting these very strong emanations of our great star, which is Sol. It's an exciting energy. It's pretty intense as well. I think many of us are still feeling like these very high voltage downloads that are conducted through the water of our bodies into the earth, and also the planet's waters are receiving all of this information and these codes and giving it back to us through our bodies as well. There's an incredible amount of information exchange going on, and that's also what we do. We conduct this story of our humanity and return it to the heavens in this exquisite interconnective dance. And I'm starting with this because Géminis season, it's about the exchange of information. So not only we are getting this Géminis season beginning this week, we are also going to have Venus entering this sign, this school of the sacred message, and Jupiter. So Venus, we understand her as a sister of the earth that awakens us into new consciousness and awareness of love, and Jupiter as a spiritual guide towards expansion. And Géminis, as I just said, we name this school, this archetypical school, as a school of the sacred message. So it's about how we exchange information, how we carry the message. It rules thought and words and history and narrative, and I think we are now all invited to tell a new story, really. I was thinking of our ancestors, like contemplating the sky and then contemplating the earth and themselves, and how stories were born that have been spinning over time so that all of this wisdom and vision could be transmitted to us. So taking and weaving with those threads, perhaps also unraveling some of the knots with patience and love. Now we, as the new ancestors of this time, the carriers of the new stories, of the new narratives of the future, we hold in our hands and in this art of speech, of words, the possibility of dreaming and waking up to a new story. Perhaps one where we remember that we are all interconnected, and we are the storytellers of the new medicine tales for a new time, the ones that will be sung and written and spoken by you and by me, and that perhaps in a very long time will be told again in some circle or around a fire. The new myths, the new dreams that integrate the dream of the ancestors into the dream of the future through us. So Géminis is a very restless energy that loves to learn, to investigate, and essentially is driven by curiosity. So I think that's the path to navigate this season. And it's also a way in which we can question and maybe rethink the narrative in which we have agreed to live, so we can perhaps agree on a new epic, one which recognizes the interconnectedness from the beauty of each individuality contributing to the story with their own voice, with their own message. And we are to take responsibility for this, no? Because it's not just the sky happening to us, we are happening to the whole universe. And our dance, no, is part of the cosmos dance, and we contribute with a harmony or disharmony through our movement. So I think the beginning of this new season might feel like just like fresh air, because it's a more playful, joyful energy that invites wonder and awe, and also connection and this exchanging new and fresh ideas. I was reading this phrase the other day that I think it's appropriate for this time, which is freedom of expression and freedom of action are meaningless without freedom of thought. And there is no freedom of thought if there is no room for doubt. I think it's from Virgin Events. So I think it's going to be also about allowing doubt, so we can question, so we can get uncomfortable with what challenges our beliefs and our dogmas, so we can truly open the possibility of inclusion and the celebration and respect for diversity. Okay, the Sun is entering Géminis on the 20th of May. Pretty soon, on the 22nd, it's going to create this dialogue, this trine to Pluto in Aquarius. And then on the 23rd of the month, we're having this expansive, beautiful full moon in Sagittarius. A brand new, pretty fiery wind will probably, hopefully, clear the clouds from our vision so we can see new horizons, and our gaze might be filled with hope, and we can remember that in trust we actually access the courage to continue this adventure. No, I think there is something from the depth of our soul that it's encouraging us with this energy and reminding us that we chose to come here, that we chose this time to be here, that we are what is needed, and that we are what we need for the regeneration of time itself. Also, I want to bring that, let us not forget that trust and hope are experienced in the face of doubt, in the face of uncertainty. So it's not because we already know that we access these experiences. It is because we don't know. So I also see this. Now it's going to be important to assume, accept that we don't know. And from there, perhaps explore and change our point of view and be willing to just change our ideas into new perspectives, to change our opinions, and to have the humility to accept errors in our perception so we can keep cleaning our gaze. There is an innocence to Géminis energy that can always see with new eyes. And the shadow side of this could be like an immaturity. No, it's like a very Peter Pan energy. But I think in the light side, this could be like a wise innocence that rediscovers the miracle all the time. So the moon is in Sagittarius, which is the school of freedom and truth. And the moon is in front of the sun in Géminis. The sun is together with Sedna, which is an asteroid. I've been talking a lot about her in my other channels. I'll make some time to speak of the importance of Sedna in our solar system right now. But she is also a powerful guide towards the change of epoch, the change of times that we are in. And it's quite interesting because both luminaries, so the sun and the moon, they're extending harmonious dialogues to the Lord of Transformation, which is Pluto. And so, honestly, the sky is still speaking of change, of metamorphosis, of transfiguration. No? And the thing is now, this happens through an energy that actually flows easily with this mutability, okay? Because Géminis and Sagittario are about adaptability, flexibility, curiosity. And there's something about these energies, the mutable energies, that understand how time moves in spirals. Now, the fixed signs and the cardinal signs, they don't really get this, no? And with these mutable signs, there's a different consciousness of cycles, of movement, of the pulse of life. They are better connected, I suppose, to the truth of divine rhythm. And then they know how to surrender to the flow and co-create with lightness, with humor, with the medicine of laughter as well. So this is the axis of thought, Géminis and Sagittario, and we are entering an age of air, which is also about the mind. And this is all being orchestrated through Pluton, transforming our understanding of consciousness. No? So there will also be this questioning, deep questioning of what consciousness is, and also what defines us, or what we understand as being humans. And there's this very passionate search for the truth of who we are and what that expansion of consciousness really is. So this Pluton is speaking with these signs that govern the mind, philosophy, cosmovision, the worldview. And I see it as an opportunity to liberate ourselves from the slavery of the mind towards the infinite creativity of consciousness. The full moon is always a culmination of an emotional process. So we had a seed for this full moon 6 months ago, in December the 12th, 2023. And so this is also a harvest. And how I understand it, this is a harvest of understanding. Like something clicks. No, it's an understanding that is acquired by going through the experience in all of our bodies. No, so that's how wisdom also happens. No, from knowledge to wisdom, we go through the experience. So, in the light of these past 6 months, and also 2 years, and maybe also 4 years, because those are the spirals that I can clearly see manifesting right now. I ask you, what are you reaping from this adventure and human spiritual journey in which you have been experiencing yourself? What can you recognize and celebrate as your own harvest? For me, this is a full moon that invites us to recognize, receive, and celebrate our harvest, the spiritual and material gifts that we have offered ourselves. It invites us to notice that we have grown, and to recognize ourselves in the beauty of this process, to open our hearts, open our hands, open our visions. It's a very optimistic energy. So the ruler of Sagittario is Jupiter, and he is conjoined Venus on the 29th degree of Tauro, which is an absolute delight of energy, because this is such an embrace. It's like the embrace of abundance and love. So there's an abundance of love. And it's also like the most natural, genuine energy of manifestation. It's creation energy. And they are both in the school of beauty and the school of the earth. And they're weaving this amazing sextile to Neptune, the kingdom, the realm of spirit, in that 29th degree of Pisces, the crack in the universe. So it's poetry, really. It's like acknowledging that we can create a work of art with our lives, and also noticing that life is a masterpiece in itself, with whatever it brings. So it looks like a harvest of something tangible, a dream becoming tangible, the manifestation or the maturation, of the soul that celebrates and appreciates the sustained commitment to reach this new season, this station of the journey, I would say, which is one of gratitude and hope, even through all of this uncertainty. There is a shadow side to this energy because it's so joyful. It's like really calling us into the pleasure of existing. And the shadow side of this is that we might be tempted to understand pleasure or even joy as a means to avoid pain, or pursuing pleasure because we are so afraid, no, of experiencing calmness, or simply feeling. And also there's like this in the shadow side, like this fear of experiencing the ordinary, which is perhaps also a gift from this energy, understanding the beauty of life as a simple, everyday, and therefore amazing experience. It's an energy that speaks to our beliefs, our belief systems, to our philosophy of life, to freedom of thought, to freedom of expression. So also I invite you to reflect. If you not only carry, but you are a sacred message, what will you tell us, no? With your words, with your service, with your walk of life. I think it's a moment to become perhaps excited about renewing the commitment with a purpose, or remembering the divine purpose with which we arrived, and also then, I don't know if you can say, renew the adventure of our life. It's a good time to question our beliefs, to broaden our worldview, and to appeal to the intelligence of our hearts so we can remember and recreate the dream of reality. We have a Mars in Aries, we have a Venus in Tauro. They are both in their home signs. It's masculine and feminine impulses, remembering their original blueprint, their original energy, healing and integrating towards a restoration of divine order in the human. Mars, at the time of this full moon, is together with the North Node, which is the destiny. And so it's inviting us to put action into our initiatives, to walk our talk, really, to embody our philosophy. And he's approaching Chiron, the wounded healer, whom is in this elaboration of the wound of the self, so we can return to the self. Through loving ourselves, really, we're cleansing so much shame, so much guilt, so much fear, through responding, taking charge of ourselves, and growing with joy. This is a joyous sky. It's happy. It's full of vitality. So it's also just about breathing in this inspiring climate. And I think we're going to hear a lot of very inspiring, motivational speeches with refreshing ideas and ideals as well. And we can be a source of this for the world. I will make an exclusive video on Jupiter entering Gemini, because there's a lot to say about that, and I will try and do that soon. But before that, maybe I can just draw some keys about what I can hear from that story. First, Venus is entering Gemini on the 23rd, just after the full moon. She's right now invisible in the sky because she's undergoing this process of alchemy, the pure magic of Venus. She's changing from morning star into evening star. And this is an initiatory process for her, where she also disposes of anything that feels too heavy, so she can actually take her wings and rise, and become this evening star. And she's entering the school of the sacred message, and she's going to perfect a Venus star point at the beginning of June, which is like a full Venus, so this responds to a seed that was planted with a new Venus in 2020 in Gemini as well. And we were having eclipses in Gemini and Sagittarius then, so it's interesting to remember what was going on in the world in terms of the exchange of communication, ideas, confusion, who has the truth, what is the truth, and all of this. Because that's the spiral I wanted to talk about earlier. We've walked, we've experienced these 4 years, and now we have this enhanced energy in the school of thought, communication, and exchange of ideas. So how are we, through this maturing of our understanding, gonna integrate the energy this time, And then Jupiter will enter Géminis on May 25th, and he's gonna stay there for a year. This is a very interesting change, because he's a giant that expands everything he touches, and he's basically putting a microphone on the side of communication. So I think we're going to have a profusion of ideas and speeches and thoughts and information and exchanges, and I read it as a beautiful moment to take responsibility for the story we are telling, to write, to sing, to be poets, to be storytellers, narrators of the new human myth, and with the art of words and the mastery of thought, create history. Now, this is an amplification of Géminis, and immediately Jupiter is going to weave this trine to Pluto in Aquarius as well. So this quest for the truth comes with a lot of passion, with a lot of curiosity, that in a way, to me, because Aquarius is this collective sign, is seeking to redeem the story we have lived through creativity and humility and deep responsibility. Aquarius is this visionary energy that it's inviting us to develop the potential of the higher mind, to connect with new ways of exchanging information, or even awakening to the reality of these dormant gifts in the way in which we use mind and thought. It's also, I see it as an expansion of what we thought was local into galactic as local. This can be extremely exciting and stimulating. It will be exciting and stimulating, and it can also be very overwhelming, because we can lose ourselves thinking for the sake of thinking and talking for the sake of talking, and just changing and changing and changing without restraint, I suppose, without, we can find ourselves lost at some point with all of this air energy. We don't have clarity of our prayer, of our vision, of what motivates us and where we are walking towards. With all the flexibility of the road, but our vision, we can become distracted and confused, and then just lose the potential creativity to expand our minds and access new consciousness. So the key will be discernment. We are overstimulated already all the time. Our minds are super stimulated with images and with stories and with ideas. So I think it's going to be about having a lot of discernment and hygiene of what we allow to enter our fields, to inform us, to give us form, because this information shapes us, shapes the internal cosmos with which we shape the world. Now, we shape the world with what we bring to the collective fabric from our individuality. And there is an effort now out there for us to get distracted about the truth of our power and the truth of who we are, to keeping us captive precisely through enslaving the mind and distracting us. And there is a very chaotic expression of this energy through, I guess, just immaturity. And there is another timeline where we reclaim our voice and we liberate ourselves and we start spelling a new world. We conjure a new reality. Géminis is about crossroads as well, so we're gonna be making decisions. We're gonna be presented with lots of options and possibilities. So, with what part of you are you gonna choose? See, there is a very virtuous intelligence of the mind when it comes to Géminis, but as I see it, this must be put in the service of the heart and in the connection to the natural wisdom of the body and the earth. And from there, there's creation. So, I think that's what I have for today. I'll be talking a little bit more about this Jupiter in Géminis transit later on. But for now, I just hope we enjoy this new breeze, this fresh air, these good winds that are coming, and that we enjoy the flights, that we spread wings and feel inspired again with the possibility. Honoring your path. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your attention. Blessings.